Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about using basic barbell exercises as a foundation of your training. And this is something that I really like to stress. It's something I believe is important. I believe that we get the most out of it. Now, when I say this, I want to make this very, very clear. I am in no way saying that machine single joint exercises, those things don't have their place. I program plenty of those. I use plenty of those. Okay, so let's always be clear here. But when we are trying to build basic muscle, basic strength, basic performance, our foundation should probably be body weight exercises and barbell movements. Obviously, I put a higher focus on barbell stuff, but just, to show you guys, I do body weight movements and things, pull-ups, hanging leg raises, all that stuff, right? I think that they're valuable, they're useful, and I think they really help fill in the gaps. But the foundation is going to be those things, right? The big basic movements. And you can't go wrong with those. You cannot go wrong with those. And when I talk about big heavy movements, I mean strict stuff. If you guys notice all the stuff I'm doing in this clip, it's all paused work. It's flat back benching, strict incline benching here with a pause on the chest. Everything is paused. Stretching at the bottom of rows, minimal cheating, dead hang pull-ups, right? Deadlifts are done strict from a dead stop. Romanian deadlifts, if you see in here, are done to a full range of motion. So when I say big basic movements, I do mean full range of motion training. Now, where people will have issues there is, well, what about, training specificity? Well, that can be the next thing that you do, but this is your base building, right? This should always be your base building. Now, is that to say that if you're going to compete in powerlifting that you need to be doing only Olympic squats and flat back benching and so on? No, of course not. Of course not. But they're a good way to build your foundation. They will build the most muscle. And look, if you're going to go compete in powerlifting, then you should probably practice the competition versions of your lifts. But getting stronger at these others will carry over. They'll carry over. Same thing for people who have certain physique aspirations. Have you guys not noticed that the majority of the greats in bodybuilding even, this is their foundational stuff? Go look at how they trained. I mean, if you really look at Arnold's stuff, setting aside all his arm work and stuff, what did you see him doing back in the day? Squats, deadlifts, bench press, incline bench, pull-ups, rows. Franco Colombo, same thing. Hell, Ronnie Coleman, let's come more to the modern era. Now, granted, there have been people like Dorian and others who deviated from this. I mean, Ronnie Coleman got won more Mr. Olympias than anyone in history. Squats, bench, deadlift, rows. Really, that's what you think of for his training. That's the stuff he did. Then he filled in the gaps with other stuff. But notice the thing, all of these various lifters, they focus on these basic movements. This is where people build their base. Okay? This is where you build your base. And I think that this should comprise a majority of your training. Now, things like arm work will always have a special place for a lot of us. Someone like me who doesn't have the best arm genetics, sure, I've got to do a lot of extra arm work. But that's not done in replace of these other things. It's done in addition to it. Okay? And that is the take-home message I'm making with all of this. We're not replacing the basics with the additional stuff we need. We're adding to it. But this is irrespective of your goals, because what if your goal is to be a better athlete, better athletic performance? Well, these big movements are the ones that create neural drive, put the most muscle on you, and again, muscle mass is required for force production. And the idea that people are going to outbulk a weight class by lifting weights or anything else is ludicrous, that you're going to get muscle out. Well, no, not if you're training full range of motion exercises. Right? Your mobility will increase. And I think people are really confused as to the amount of muscle that they can build from weight training. It's a concern. People are like, well, I'll get too big, and women are bad about that. Then they realize that it's kind of impossible. that what they're thinking of is too big is oftentimes someone with many years of PED use. It's not just from lifting weights. And it's not something that they did in just 2 or 3 years. And I think most people, if they really go after this, would be surprised how little muscle you're really going to build with 2 to 3 years of hard training. It's going to be less than you think it is. Again, people have this mistake of confusing people who have 15 years of dedicated hard training or people who have many years of PED use or both. And they're confusing that with what they're going to achieve. Look, guys, focus on this stuff. Trust me when I say this. Okay? And I think this is a mistake for advanced lifters that we have a habit of making also. You know, we know that the basics work. We know that this is the stuff we should build our training off of. But then we kind of get lost along the way and we start adding so much of the other stuff that we start taking the basics out. And I've noticed this is when people regress. This is when people spend years stagnating. Okay? Your training should always be rooted in the basics. Now, people in their first year in the gym, this is probably really all you need to do. The sort of exercises you see me doing in this video, because I'm not showing all my other smaller stuff I do in this one. You're not seeing the curls and the pullovers and, you know, all the ab work. And maybe the ab work would be good. But the exercises I'm doing in this, if most people did nothing but focus on getting really good at most of them, you don't even have to do all of them. Pick 5 or 6 of these. Okay, pick 5 or 6 of these. Spend the first 2 years getting really, really good at them. Pushing the overload. Notice I didn't say you had to max on them. Get your 5 rep maxes, your 8 rep maxes, 10 rep maxes. Get them really high on all these movements. Push them as hard as you can in regard to performance with good form, right? Not ego lifting. You'll be shocked at how much better that would go than the other stuff you're doing. Okay, come in and just do that. A couple years. Just pick 6 movements off this list you see me doing. I don't even care which 6. So what do you see me doing? Bench press, incline, rows, pull-ups, squats, Romanian deadlifts, regular deadlifts. You don't even need all of those. It'd be good if you did all of them. You could throw front squats as one of those in there. Yeah, big basic movements. Get good at these. Get proficient at them. You'll be shocked at the difference it makes in your muscle mass, body composition, athletic performance, how you feel, just overall strength, solidness. All right? And then worry about filling in the weak links. Worry then about your specificity of what you're specifically trying to achieve. Just build a base. All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.